Hi there, thank you for watching how to fill out a green sheet. My name is Christine Lawrence and I am with the MCA department here at the Keller Williams Austin Southwest Market Center. And I wanted to show you first, before we get started, where to find a downloadable version of this green sheet to use and save on your own device, your own computer at home. What I've done here is logged into mykw.kw.com, and you'll notice here in the center edge control panel there is a link to My Market Center intranet. If you click on that link, it will go ahead and open up a new tab here, and you'll want to also then click on Market Center, which is one of the tabs at the very top. Then you'll click on Documents. Once you've clicked on that, you'll see all of these folders that are a great resource for you, so please make yourself very familiar with these folders, but especially the Linda folder. That's going to be where everything you need to get paid is found. So you'll see the green sheets that we're going to talk about today. Also, you'll notice there's the W-9 that we'll also mention. There are checklists and referral forms and leasing invoices. But today we're going to focus on the green sheet. You'll notice it says 2014. Any new version of the green sheet, once it's created, will be uploaded to this exact same spot. So this is the one that you'll be using. Once you click on it, it will download and it will open up the green sheet here in Excel, and you will be able to save this as a blank document and then open it up and fill it out for any contract or closing you have coming up anytime you want to get paid. So let's go ahead and get started. You'll notice it says all fields are required for submittal. That is absolutely true. If you do leave a field blank on this document, I or anyone in the MCA department, we will assume that that information is out there somewhere for us to go find, and that is not what we will do for that specific piece of information. We'll actually just return the green sheet to you and ask you to complete it and then resubmit again. So let's start with the top field here, submitted by. This is going to be your name or whoever is filling out the green sheet for you. That is going to be either an assistant or somebody helping you, anybody who's actually filling out the document, because we need to know who to go to for questions. The next two fields, the close date and the contract date, are the two most important fields on the entire document. This is what we use to just begin to make a DA, which is your end goal. So please make sure that these fields are filled out and accurate. If, again, they are blank or they are wrong by a large margin, that's very obvious to us, we are going to close it up, return it to you, and have you fill it out correctly and resubmit again. If this is for a lease, because you are filling out a green sheet every time you want to receive commission or get paid, you are going to fill out the move-in date for both dates, because that's really the only date you have to go by. Now for a purchase transaction, which is what we're going to focus mostly on today, you will put in the close date as it appears on your executed contract. I'm going to use today as a closing date. And then the contract date. So you're going to put in the close date. I'm going to use today as the closing date, and you'll format it as a regular date. And then the contract date is the date it was executed. So we'll go ahead and put an applicable date for that. Please keep in mind I am using this as an example today just to show you how filling out the green sheet works for you. Moving on to section 1, you'll notice once I click on type, it is a drop-down menu. So this gives you options as to what will apply for your situation. If this is your listing where you represent the seller or the landlord, you would choose that option. If this is a sale where you represent the buyer or the tenant, you would choose that option. If it is both listing and sale, which in this situation would mean that both the listing agent and the selling agent on each side of the transaction are within our market center, that's the only time you're going to use that option. Now, Inside of our market center includes all of our business locations. So that's going to include agents out of the Dripping Springs Market Center, Business Center, the Bastrop Business Center, the Buda Business Center, and the Portfolio or Luxury Office downtown on 5th Street. All of those are satellite offices to the Southwest Market Center. So if you or another agent are inside the Southwest Market Center or any of those locations, both of you are going to appear on the green sheet and you would choose both listing and sale. The only time you would choose referral is if you're receiving a referral payment, so you're expecting the payment for referring a client to somebody else. If somebody refers a client to you, it then becomes either your listing or your sale. So today we're going to choose listing. Now for class, it's also a drop-down menu, and this is where you're going to tell me what kind of purchase it is, or what kind of listing it is, whether it's a property or a lease. And again, if you chose referral for the first box here in type, you would choose referral again for class. Today we're going to choose property. Since only the listing side is represented from our market center, then you would only answer the listing side of questions on this green sheet. So the source of the listing side client would be a drop down also, and you would choose whatever applies here. I'm going to say farming is where we got the client today. And then since the selling side is not in our market center, we don't need to answer or fill in that blank. We're going to move on to property, which is also a drop down menu. So you're going to choose what applies here. If you told me it was a lease in class, then please also choose lease here in property. Otherwise, tell me what kind of property it is. Usually it is a resale or a new home. Moving on down to the section 2 here, property information. All of this would come from the MLS page. So you would enter the MLS number and then continue to enter everything from the MLS listing. However, sometimes properties are not listed in an MLS, and in that situation, you would simply write in not listed in MLS. Now, if that is the case, once you've typed that in, you will still go ahead and fill out all of the information from the listing agreement or the tax records or something you have per the contract that gives you the legal description of the property. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that out now. You'll do the street number, the street name, the city, state, zip, county, not country, even though that applies sometimes in our northern states. And then subdivision is one of the fields that may or may not apply in every situation. In this situation, it does not, so I'm going to simply put in A. If it did apply, I would just fill in the subdivision again from the legal description of the property. So we're going to move on down to the buyer's names and the seller's names. You're going to fill out all of the information you can for both clients, no matter who you represent, because all of this information is on the contract. So you will have multiple opportunities to have this information accessed. Keep in mind that sometimes if you are filling this out for a lease, then you may not have a seller's name or a co-broker because you might be representing somebody who leased an apartment. In that scenario, you would want to give as much information for that apartment as you possibly could. You would need to fill out the property management company's name. You would want to provide any kind of apartment name that they leased. You would want to give some person you talked to in the office. You would want to provide an email or a phone number for anybody to contact at that apartment location. Anytime a lease check arrives, it does not have any information as to who it belongs to, whether it be your client name or the agent name or an invoice number or an address of any kind. So the more information you can provide in this section for apartment leases, the better. And while we're on the subject of leases, sections 6, 7, and 8 do not apply. So if you are filling this out for a lease, you can go ahead and skip the next few minutes of the video, as 6, 7, and 8 will be left blank. Please do not take the time to fill in the letters NA for every single blank. We understand that if it is for a lease, those will not be filled in. We're going to jump right back though to the purchase transaction that we were working on. You'll notice that I switched the names, keeping everybody on their toes today. And their current address would be what they are selling. Not always, but it is in this situation. For co-broker on purchase transactions, you would want to give the company name of the agent that you worked for, as well as the agent name that you worked with, their email address, their phone number. For phone and fax and the tax ID, you can actually leave those blank. Those fields are not necessary for this green sheet. Those will in fact be removed in future versions of the green sheet. Recruiting. Have you talked to this agent about Keller Williams? Yes or no? This is a drop-down menu, so you would choose which one applies. Now keep in mind, this question as well as the two others following are there to promote you to have a conversation with this agent about Keller Williams. You may or may not have already learned about profit share, and there is a large amount of profit sharing to go around for anybody who brings agents to Keller Williams. So we want you guys to take advantage of that profit sharing system. This is meant to help you build your downline. So if they were a great agent, then please fill in the necessary questions and reach out to them about joining Keller Williams. Moving on to section 6, the mortgage company information. With the changes happening with the CFPB, this information as well as the closing company are going to be extremely important for the MCA department to know, as we are unsure what information will be provided to us moving forward and what will not be. So please be as thorough as you possibly can here in 6 and 7. The company name, their phone number, their fax number. Again, anytime you see fax can be left blank. I'm not quite sure if I could even instruct you today on how to fax. Their address, the loan amount you can estimate. The time frame that you are filling out this green sheet document is within 3 to 4 days of your executed contract. So we understand that maybe the loan amount is not completely nailed down yet, but you are more than welcome to estimate. And please provide the loan officer's name in the event that we need to contact them. And then loan type is a drop-down menu. So you would tell me what kind of loan it is. Now, you'll notice that the one of the drop-down menus is cash. So if this were in fact a cash transaction, you would simply fill in cash here in the loan type, and you would write cash in the company name, and then all the rest of the information would remain blank. Now, in this situation, we are the listing agent, so we represent the seller, and we may not have all of this mortgage information off the top of our head for the buyer, but you should have some kind of pre-approval letter or some kind of financing addendum in order to have the contract completed. So please make sure you retrieve all of the correct information for this section, as it is in fact available to you. Moving to the closing company name, this again is going to be crucial information for us as we move forward. The closing company name, as well as the address. There are countless Gracie titles in Austin, so if you simply put Gracie title and you don't give me an address, then I don't know which one to call. And one Gracie title will not answer the questions of another Gracie title, so it becomes a goose chase. The closing officer's name as well as their phone number to reach them. And again, fax can be left blank. Moving down to the home warranty information, again, you are filling this green sheet out within 3 to 4 days of your executed contract, so the home warranty information may not be nailed down yet. All you can tell me though is who is paying for it, because that is in the contract. So whether it be the seller, the buyer, the Keller Williams agent, the other broker's agent, or there will not be home warranty. So please tell me who is paying for the warranty, and then TBD is an appropriate blank space fill in for that section. In the notes section, this is a tempting place to put something about this transaction in on the green sheet. However, it is not the most important place. When you submit for review, there is a section to include a message for admins, and that's going to be the most important place. You can find more information on that in the How to Get Paid class. That's every second and fourth Tuesday of each month, as well as the Loop 101 and 102 classes that are on the first and third Tuesdays of every month. We've now completed page 1 of 2. So we're going to move on to the second page of the green sheet, which is all about the numbers. The sales price section here is the most important box on the page, so please make sure that you fill that out first, otherwise the rest of it will not calculate correctly. If this is for a lease, then please put the first month's rent as the sales price, and that will allow you to calculate everything correctly. But since today is a purchase transaction, we are going to fill out based on the contract that we are turning our paperwork in to get paid on. Keep in mind, this is again within 3 to 4 days of your executed contract. So this sales price is what is in the contract. It has not had time to change. With the changes for CFPB, they are going to require DAs in a much greater advance than they have in the past. So turning in your paperwork within the time frame of the TREC guidelines, as well as the time frame that Keller Williams requests, which mirror the TREC guidelines, is your best chance to getting a DA. We understand that prices change, but if you will turn in your paperwork with the contracted sales price, let us create a DA and then let us know of any changes or price reductions or increases. We can revise a DA much faster than it takes to go through the entire submitting process. So waiting until you have a quote-unquote final sales price is not advisable. Please turn it in again within the 3 to 4 days allotted per the TREC guidelines. Today, that is a $300,000 sales price. So we're going to jump over here to the percentage or the flat commission boxes. It is either a percentage or a flat. It is never both. So most cases you have a 3%. We'll put that 3 in the box for listing, since this is our listing, and we'll hit tab. That's going to calculate that number for us. If we were giving a flat commission, maybe in this situation it is our friend's listing and we agreed with them to list it for $1,000 no matter what it sold for, then you would simply take out the percentage commission and you would put in that $1,000 in the flat commission box. Also, keeping in mind that if you're going to credit the seller while you are representing the seller, it doesn't make any sense to take commission from the seller's pocket just to put it back. So you're going to take your standard 3%, which is what your agreement says in the contract. You're going to remove or subtract any credit that you're offering him. Let's say in this situation it is $1,000 off the top. So you would take the percentage away and do a flat commission of what is left. That would be the 3%, $9,000 less the $1,000 credit to make an $8,000 flat commission. Any questions on this percentage split, either the percentage or the flat, can be directed to the MCA department. That email is mca@kwaustin.com. Now that we have our percentage commission in place, we're going to move down to Associate A. You are normally Associate A. The only instance where you would not be is if both agents are within our market center, then one would be A and one would be B, but it doesn't matter which one is which. Since we're the only agent on this transaction inside of our market center, we will only be working with column A today. The last 4 digits of your social security number are crucial to us knowing who to actually pay. With the amount of associates in our market center, it is easily possible that you have the same name as somebody else in our market center. And in black and white, that doesn't differentiate who actually is receiving these commissions. So the last 4 of the social is what separates you from all of the rest and ensures that you are the associate being paid. Please do not leave those numbers off. Your associate name is going to be what is on your TREC license. If your name has changed, whether you were married or divorced or for any other reason, you would need to update your name with your Social Security office as well as TREC. And once TREC receives that name update or name change, then please provide a copy to the MCA office as well. Again, that's mca@kwaustin.com. And they will be able to then pay you to your changed or updated name. The associate role underneath the agent name is a drop-down menu, which gives you options as to which applies for you. If you are an individual where you work alone and you do not pay or belong to a team or group, then you would choose individual. If you are part of a team or group lead, most of the time things are paid to the rainmaker or the team or group lead. And if you have any questions about who to put on the green sheet, please contact the MCA department and they can instruct you correctly. Today we are going to pretend we are an individual. Line C is the type. We're going to pull that straight from page 1. So we said it was a listing earlier. We're going to match that here in this drop-down menu. Property fills in from page 1 for you, and then agency is who you represent. If it's a listing, I expect to see seller, and if it's a sale, I expect to see buyer. For lines F and lines G, you would want to put a unit that matches the type and the agency that you have selected earlier. So if it's a listing sold, we have a listing commission, and you represent the seller, you're going to put in a listing unit. The units cannot exceed 1 per side. So in this situation, we would type in a 1 and everything would calculate accordingly below. If you were splitting this listing for whatever reason with someone in our market center, you would then be able to split the units as well. Splitting the unit also means splitting the associate written volume as well as the commission. You can split that however it was agreed upon for you and the other agent. The other agent then would be listed next to you in associate B or the second column. Today we're going to make it extremely easy and simply put 1 unit. 1 agent, 1 unit. If you did fill in the unit in the wrong field, it would not calculate anything for you below, and that would be a clue that the unit is in the wrong place. So today we have 1 listing unit. You can see that it's crediting you with associate written volume. It's also crediting you the gross commission or the GCI here. That's in this situation $9,000. Line J, any amount going outside the market center. If this is for a lease and you as the listing agent have agreed to receive 100% or 80% of the 1 month's rent as your commission from your landlord or your client, and you have also agreed per the MLS that you would pay the buyer's agent either a 30, 35, or 40% commission from that, you would want to fill in the first month's rent here, your 80% here, and then you would calculate the dollar amount to put here to pay the other agent. Okay? That's because we have to receive the other agent's information. Keep in mind that agent is outside of our market center. They do not work in the locations previously discussed, either the Southwest Market Center, Dripping Springs, Buda, Bastrop, or the portfolio office. Now, we're going to go back to the purchase transaction and talk about an outside referral. In this situation, if we agreed to pay a 20% referral fee, then we would calculate what 20% of the commission was so that we could then enter that dollar amount into line J. In this situation, that's going to be $1,800 as a 20% referral. Notice it's red and it's asterisked, which means it brings you down here to the outside amount detail section. All of this information can be found from the receiving party's W-9. If you expect to receive money from an outside broker, then you provide them with the W-9. And if you expect to, or if an agent is expecting you to pay money to their brokerage, then they will provide you with their broker's W-9. Notice once we input the amount of the referral here in line J, it filled in down here into this dollar amount. You would then choose which associate is paying that referral, which is very helpful in the case of multiple associates paying multiple referrals. You would give us the tax ID, which is found on the referral form. You would fill in the broker's name, as well as the agent name so that we know who to pay that referral to. The phone number is very helpful, as well as the address, city, state, zip, and email. Again, with fax, you can leave that blank. So you would fill out all of that information completely off of the W-9, and then you would include that W-9 in your paperwork that you are submitting. Moving to bonus, if you are receiving an amount in addition to your GCI, it is considered a bonus, and that is added on top of your commission. You'll notice that the subtotal here has taken your GCI, it has subtracted your amount going outside the market center, and it has added any amount being added to your commission. The subtotal then is what is split with the market center. This associate commission split is where you would input their 70%, which would then calculate how much your amount is going to be. The next line, associate royalty, is going to calculate for you 6% of the GCI. Now in this situation, you have money coming out and money being added on top of your commission as a bonus, so that royalty is actually calculated off of the subtotal, so that you're not paying royalty off of money that you're not receiving in the first place. If you are in fact capped, you would change the associate split to 100, and this green sheet is formulated to always calculate the royalty. Keep in mind that when we went to the intranet, there were 2 green sheets to download. One had 2014 green sheet, no royalty. If you are capped and you choose to not see this royalty amount come out of your green sheet, you are welcome to use the one that says no royalty. Please keep in mind that the royalty will not be deducted if you are capped on your DA, whether it's on the green sheet or not. The system we use does not allow us to take more money than what is owed. So if you do in fact leave the royalty there, you will notice that your amount of net commission is, in this situation, $540 more than what is showing at the bottom. Again, any questions can be directed to mca@kwaustin.com. Moving to inside referral, line O. If you are paying a referral to an agent inside of our market center, please put the dollar amount of that referral in one line, in the inside referral line in your column, and then jump over to the next column and put the same amount in the same line, and then simply add the referring agent's name at the top. That's all the information we need to pay an inside referral. In this case, I'm going to remove that. Line P and line Q is KW Cares and KW Jams. These are our 2 charitable donations or charitable entities within Keller Williams. The KW Cares donation is what is collected nationally and funneled over to Keller Williams International. There they decide how they can and where they can distribute those funds through a grant process. You'll notice it is tax deductible, as the International KW Cares is a 501c3 corporation, and you can deduct that on your taxes at the end of the year. KW Jams is the local organization here at the Market Center, where only the agents in our Market Center donate to KW Jams, and only our agents here at the Market Center and our outlying business centers receive money from KW Jams. We have a committee here that determines what situations require how much money, and that is then distributed from our Jams fund. These 2 blanks are here not necessarily to suggest that you donate, but simply to give you the opportunity to do so. If you have a charity that is near and dear to your heart already, please continue to donate in any way that you can. However, if you choose to donate here, you simply put in the dollar amount that you want to give in either blank or both, however often, and we will include that on your DA. If you are in the coaching program, this box here is a drop-down menu, and you would choose yes. That would then calculate 5% of the GCI for you to be paid into the coaching program. Once you graduate or you are no longer in the program, you would choose no, and that would go away. The E&O is an $80 charge per side. So if you have the listing and another agent has the selling or the buying side, then both of you would pay the $80 E&O fee. In this situation, we are one listing agent representing the listing side, so we'll pay the $80. If you were splitting the listing, like we talked about earlier, you are allowed to split the E&O, keeping in mind that that is a conversation had with the agent you're sharing the listing with. The other deduction lines are there for you to fill in whatever is applicable for this transaction. Sometimes that is a contract to close individual, and you are allowed to pay them on the DA, but this is something that is paid almost like you just writing a check at closing, but it's written for you by the title company. Any kind of deduction that you write in here needs to be accounted for on your own and tracked on your own for end-of-year taxing purposes. For example, if you've paid the same person, contract to close person, $150 for every transaction, and at the end of the year that totals more than $600, you are responsible for 1099ing them the correct amount that you have paid them for the year. Other deductions down here could also be a credit to the buyer, in which case you would put in the amount that you are crediting them, but since we represent the listing agent, that is not applicable. If you are paying the buyer's home warranty, not your client, but it's coming out of your commission, then you would input how much that home warranty is in this situation, and then underneath it, you see net commission. That net commission is what you're expecting to see next to your name on the DA. I have filled out every possible scenario here in this green sheet that in order to show you what it does to the bottom line and how it calculates. Now I'm going to clear out some fields that I normally don't see to let you know how simple it is to fill out. Here is what I normally see on a daily basis. You have the sales price, the commission amount, you've put in your name and who you represent, the unit, and a donation to KW Jams. That is a very regularly seen green sheet with very minimal amount of input. Once you have completely filled out this green sheet and you have no more questions, you will save this once as an Excel document and then again as a PDF. You can only submit as a PDF. Keep in mind, this is the Excel version of the green sheet that we've covered today. It is not the online green sheet that is available to you on MyKW through KW International. This is the Excel version on the intranet. If you have questions as to which green sheet you are filling out or need to fill out, hint, hint, this one is actually green, please email mca@kwaustin.com. Thank you for watching. This is how to fill out a green sheet.